with swords in hands to the walls coming, horsemen about the streets riding and running.
The year is 1642, and both the Royalist and Parliamentarian factions have been mustering their forces to try and convince the other that their way is right and just. The Royalist force under King Charles has managed to assemble approximately 7,000 men to face off against the 6,000 of those fighting for the Parliamentarian cause. Meeting in an area of rich farmland, the two sides slowly advanced towards each other, both sides cautious in their opening moves. A Royalist foot battery of medium ordnance worked its way onto a nearby hill to dominate the open farmland in front of it, whilst the Royalist infantry marched to its left and into the fields. Opposite them, the Parliamentarian infantry formed a line on the opposing hill with their cavalry battalion pushing forward against the King's own infantry. Prince Rupert, on the King's right, dispatched his 2 regiments of dragoons into the village, with one of those taking up residence in the church and consecrated grounds, whilst the others slowly made their way through the village streets. The dragoons holding the church managed to go off a few shots before being assailed by Ballard's regiment of Pike Shotte, whom gave a good account of themselves but could not shift the Royalist dragoons for a good number of hours. Elsewhere, the Parliamentarian cavalry and cannon had become bogged down through issues in command, and with their own dragoons being left at the front and unsupported whilst coming under the fire from the King's Guards regiment and the Earl of Oxford's men. They had wisely stopped just short of the range of the Royalist ordnance, which still maintained its domineering presence over the battlefield. With the battle raging around the village, a unit of Parliamentarian commanded Shot seized the west side of the village, and the remaining dragoons secured the south. Pike and Shot regiments advanced into close-range firing and started to exchange shots at each other, with the Royalist force coming off worse in numbers of casualties. Finally, the dragoons in the church were defeated, but not before taking a heavy toll on Ballard's men, whom were left shaken and unable to continue the fight. With dusk approaching, the Parliamentarian commanders decided to conduct an assault to force a push of pikes, with Lord Holle's men charging against Bruno's regiment of arms, a personal friend of Prince Rupert. This fight ended in the Parliamentarians receiving more casualties, but nothing more significant for either side. On the other side of the field, a Parliamentarian cavalry unit charged directly into the King's Guard, whom stood firm and received the horse with their pike and shot. They defeated the cavalry, forcing them to retire behind friendly forces. This was the final act of the battle. With night now arriving, both sides retired to their respective camps. Casualties were light on both sides, with just a few hundred killed or wounded, respectively. Yet no overall decisive winner. The English Civil War will continue. This has been The Fighting Sailor. Please like, subscribe and comment below. I wish you fair winds and following seas. Until next time.
Soldiers with swords in hands to the walls coming, horsemen about the streets riding and running, sentinels on the walls, armor crying, petards against the porch while fire flying, when cannons are roaring and bullets are flying, he that would on a win must not fear dying. Trumpets on turrets high they are a-sounding, drums beating out aloud, echoes resounding, alarm bells in each place they are a-ringing, women with stones in laps to the walls bringing, when cannons are roaring and bullets are flying, he that would on a win must not fear dying. Captains in open fields on their foes rushing, gentlemen second them with their pikes pushing, engineers in the trench earth uprearing, gunpowder in the mines, pagans are blowing, when